Hello, world. Let's do another one. I think I'm just gonna draft every morning this week. Yeah, in the top 200 Mythic, waiting to see if we decay outside of the 250 range before the end of the month. It's likely we're going to, but in the meantime, I'm playing unranked draft just to stay sharp and keep practicing. Doing traditional drafting. In Tarkir. See how the queue time's looking this morning. Nice, we're at 6 out of 8. Probably won't be long. Got a sweet 5-color Dragons deck put together off stream yesterday, but the games didn't go super well. Got kind of bombed out. Happens. Realized looking at 17 lands that I have not gotten to play with Roar of Endless Song a single time. In like a gazillion drafts. Alright. Got the Rakshasa, which I don't know that it's actually that great in draft. I've played against this card a lot and won a lot of the games. Because it can't block. And because it gets one hit off and then you have to spend mana to make it good again. Like, if you're on defense at all, it's horrible. And if you're on offense, it's okay. It pushes through a little damage and then you have to spend another turn to make it do anything. Might actually be a trap. I really like the Shocking Sharpshooter. And Sipsig Appraiser. Sipsig Appraiser is the highest win rate card, and I think for the Sharpshooter to be good, it has to be in Mardu. For Sipsig Appraiser to be good, it can be in like multiple different decks. So I'm gonna take that. Alright. This is 2 big signals for the 5-color Dragons deck. And it's got to be one of these two. The heirloom is maybe a little lower, or narrower rather, but I don't know. This is kind of good with both of these. I like the Tiger okay. Focus of the Mind is good. I've not played with this card that much, but it goes really well with both of our first picks because both of these are good things to return for it. So I guess I'll do that. I don't think Mistrise Village is playable in the format. Here's a Dragonstorm Globe since I have a Teeming Dragonstorm already. And a Constrictor Sage, which is very good. But the thing is, Constrictor Sage is definitely an above rate 5 drop. Shock Brigade too. I think if we went Mardu, our deck would be okay. But Dragonstorm Globe is pretty important to the deck we're probably trying to build. We already have a Teeming Dragonstorm. And it looks like we're going to be trying to collect dragons. I think Constrictor Sage is a better card. But I'm going to take the Globe, just because it's an enabler for our deck. There's a late Sharpshooter and a Dragon's Prey. And a Fixing Land. The Sharpshooter's actually kind of good with all of these. Actually. Especially the Teeming Dragonstorm. It's at its best in Mardu, obviously, but with the mobilize stuff, that's how you kind of abuse it. It's a little bit of an awkward pick because the Sharpshooter is probably the best card, but Dragon's Prey is probably better for our deck. I'm going to take the Dragon's Prey and pass the Sharpshooter. That might be wrong, but it's tricky. Mammoth Bellow is a powerful card. There's also Piercing Exhale, which has explicit synergy with the Dragon's deck. It's good flexible removal. It's also Thornwood Falls. I'll take an Exhale. I'm just going to try to cut the 5-color Dragon's deck and make it happen. See how it goes. There's a Night Watch, there's a Sage of the Fang, and an Overwhelming Surge. I guess Sage of the Fang is okay. Not my favorite. At this point, it's Temur Tawnyback or Windscarred Crag. I guess I'll take the Tawnyback. I am gonna need fixing at some point. Current Snakeskin Veil. I guess I could play a Snakeskin Veil to protect a big dragon. Here's Roamer's Routine. Alchemist's Assistant is solid. I don't think Roamer's Routine is that amazing, but I already have multiple ways to discard it. I don't think I really want to play any of these. There's a champion, that's a fine filler. And a worse champion. Alright. Alright, trying to get into 5-color dragons. Here's Sage of the Skies. This card's just busted, so we're going to play it. Way better than Tersa, who I found to be kind of awkward. She's flashy and looks good at first glance, but she's kind of clunky. Not having any evasion and the amount of big chunky creatures in the format, I've seen her get played and just not able to attack very much a lot. She clearly can be busted, but Sage of the Skies is just awesome. It's one of the best rares in the set. Then there's a Globe and an Exhale that I would very much like to have. Maybe we'll get back like a Windscarred Crag or something. I don't know. But gonna take the Sage. It's also good with the Kirin. Kirin has quite a bit to do in this deck. Here's a Botanist, which is awesome. Yeah, this card is just... Whoops. So obnoxious if you drop it on turn 2. Every time my opponent plays one of these on turn 2, I'm like, ugh. Got to spend a removal spell on a 2-drop or sit there having them filter their deck and draw free lands the whole game. Alright. Fresh Start is great removal. I'm going to need more fixing at some point. There's Focus the Mind too, and a Rebuke. Pummeler would be okay. I'm just going to take a 2-mana removal spell that deals with almost anything in the format. We don't have dragons. That is getting to be a problem. Because we have a Dragonstorm Globe and a Teeming Dragonstorm. We're about to have multiple breaths. We have 0 dragons. Midway through pack 2. We're going to have to start taking clunky dragons just to have a dragon count in our deck. Because we've got 2 different exhales. Storm and a globe, but here's a Death Gorger. Like, this is an unexciting dragon, and Unending Whisper's a better card. But I need to have a dragon just to reveal to these. To trigger these. I'm going to play it. Playing it as the 2-mana just counter draw is totally reasonable. I guess if things kind of fall apart, we could still just be an Abzan deck. Here's another really medium dragon and a Dispelling Exhale and a Constrictor Sage. Yikes. There's a Boulderborn Dragon. I think I'm going to take the Exhale and assume that I'll get some dragons at some point. This is a very late Bellow. I do need the fixing too. But I've got the Globe and the Roamer's Routine. Oh boy. This is getting a little scary. Alright, I'll take a Jungle Hollow. There's a Sweep, a Bearer, another Exhale. I mean, I'm just going to take all the Exhales. Maybe if I cut all the Exhales, the Dragon deck will just be open in general. At this point, I would really like another Globe, and I will take Clunky Dragons. But we'll see how it goes. We've got a lot of good cards, but we're missing some key pieces to stitch it together. Maybe the last pack rare lets me kind of do something other than the Dragons deck with the pieces I have. Champion or Serpent or Tawny back. I think these are all pretty good. Take a Serpent, I guess. Pummeler. Alright, Narset's not great. Kishla Village isn't too exciting. Stalwart, a Skirmish Rhino. Yikes, this pack is not what I wanted to see. I think Quarry Mountain Stalwart is pretty good. There's really nothing in this pack that I'm happy to see. I guess Kishla Village. It's a clunky pack. Here's a Dragonfire, no dragons in the pack. Oh, Knockout Maneuver is pretty good too. Do I have beefy creatures? Yeah, kinda. Dragonfire is also good with like Sage of the Skies, just to have cheap things to cast, but I guess I'll take a Knockout Maneuver. It's a removal spell that leaves you with value. Now there's a Roiling Dragonstorm, still no dragons. It's getting to the point where I'm going to have to just change plans here. At this point, I think I need to just take the Citadel for fixing. Like, Roiling Dragonstorm is so much better, but I just haven't gotten any dragons. Here's a globe and a gold keeper. Oi, or a dragon's prey? Wow. Man, I guess I take a gold keeper. Really would like the globe for fixing. Need dragons in my deck. Can I get like 1 or 2 more clunky dragons? Here's a Rakshasa as just a payoff for ramping, but there's also a Kintree Severance, which is just nice. Man, we got cut hard on dragons. Guess I just take a fixer. Well, Teeming Dragonstorm with Kirin kind of counting as a dragon, and Death Gorger Goldkeeper. Guess I'll take an untapped duel, sure. Man, I really just wanted one more bad dragon. At this point, we're just going to be like a chunky beatdown deck that's 5 colors. Trade Route Envoy with a Snakeskin Veil and a knockout maneuver. And I guess like a little bit of renew. Probably not great. Well, there's an agent too. All right, this is a mess. Rebellious Strike. Yeah, this deck is a mess. We've got 2 dragons. I guess I could just cut red. Except for Mammoth Bellow. Because I kind of want to cut the globe. And then I want to cut a color just to make the deck still function. Because I think the globe with only 2 dragons is not good enough. Maybe the Dragonstorm doesn't get there either. So what kind of deck is this if I'm cutting all the dragon shenanigans? Agent Kirin, triple exhale. Fresh start, piercing, botanist, sage, praiser, dragon's prey, champion, knockout maneuver. I can still play roamer's routine because I'm 4 colors. Maybe I do run the globe. Just for fixing, not for making my dragons busted, but I don't know. This did not come together well. We really needed like 2 more dragons. Got some good cards though. Got Sage. How do we what do we have going for us? Good interaction. And Sage of the Skies. If we kind of top off on Ice Ridge Serpents, then maybe this is like a 4-color kind of beatdown deck. I don't know. Just keep playing power to the table and bouncing their stuff. Let's drop the Envoy and put in the 2 red cards. And the Dragonstorm Globe. And then cut 2 things that are clunky. Like maybe 1 Exhale. Since we only have 2 dragons. Or both Exhales. Because we've still got Fresh Start and Piercing Exhale, Dragon's Prey, Knockout Maneuver, Severance. I mean, this could be fine. This is just a 5-color deck with a lot of muscle and a lot of removal. If we're just playing chunky things each turn and killing their stuff, like, we can win games that way. And I think with the Globe and the Routine, the Botanist, we should be able to actually cast our stuff. Kind of base green. I think 6 islands is probably too many. I'm going to put in this. What do we got here? Ugh. What's our green count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 green is fine. Blue count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's borderline. Probably okay. White. 1, 2. And then like 3, 4. Kind of everything has 2 extra. I guess 6 green with 2 additional ways to get it is fine. White is 1, 2, 3, 4. But this can be cast without white. And these 2 are kind of good late in the game, even though they're not that expensive. Because the Kieran's good after something else in play. And the Sage is good at any stage. But it's kind of more of a 5-drop, so having like 4 white sources is stretching it, but it's another reason to leave out the Dragonstorm, I guess. Red, 1, 2, 3, 4. But there's only 2 red cards in the deck, and one of them is late game, and the other one is hybrid red. So red's really kind of a splash. That's probably fine. And there's only 2 black cards in the deck for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 black sources, 6, 7. Yeah, that's fine. All right, in a roundabout way, this actually kind of gets there. I'm a little bit debating just cutting this other Exhale and putting in like an Envoy. With only 2 dragons, this is a lot more underwhelming. And this has some ways to do counters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 ways to do counters. Maybe the Envoy just 4/3 for 4 draw card a lot of the time is solid enough. It's not exciting, but the Exhales with only 2 dragons, where one of them we're often going to want to cycle away on turn 2 or turn 3 or whatever. It's not sounding that exciting. Okay, I guess I'm just playing the Globe for fixing and for our 2 dragons. and just playing kind of a muscly 5-color deck. This is not living the dream. This was almost a sweet 5-color dragons deck. We're just like 2 dragons short. 2 or 3. And I had opportunities to take them, but kept taking other things over them. See how this goes. See if we can pick up some wins, even though the deck is clunk. Alright, we're on the play into a globe, into stuff. Gain a life. Sometime Monument. I don't think it matters a whole lot what we get here. Basically doesn't matter at all. Guaranteed to resolve a globe. Oh, or not. Alright. Well, the globe was awkward this game. But I'm going to curve out and develop the board. Being able to play a 3-3 into a 4-4. Oh, man. I'm going to play the Pummeler. Well, I don't know. There's a couple of ways of thinking about this. I could Globe Botanist, or I could just Pummeler. There's a good chance they have a counterspell. I guess I'll just play the Pummeler, because if it hits the yard, it has Renew at least. And if it does resolve, which I'm not getting my hopes up for. Yeah, it's getting countered. Oh, nope. They paused for a second. Alright, well now we have 7 power play. At this point, I might just be playing the Death Gorger as a flyer, so... Wow. We're just hitting for 7 and they're doing nothing? Alright. Play a Globe. Play a Botanist. No counters? I see. Them cycling that there is a little odd because it's one of the few ways they can catch up on our board advantage, unless they have a sweeper or something. They're about to get just muscled hard. Sniper's pretty good. But I'm okay with any of these dying, honestly. This one trades off for a land peak. Both of these come back from the graveyard, so... Odd that they countered on that. I'm going to attack with everything. Looks like maybe they have a trick of some kind. I don't know what it would be, though. That would actually be pretty nice just to play, but it is also free graveyard value. I don't know what to do here. I guess I'll keep it on top just to play it. Ooh, that bugged out. It was like levitating. Ah, they have an Elder. I see. So they did have a trick. I was trying to think what trick it even might be. So there goes Sage of the Fang. And they chump block. That's fine. I'm just gonna play the Death Gorger as a dragon. I'm sort of just pressuring them a lot. Exile your stuff. No reason not to. Sort of just hoping to keep pressuring them so that they can't, like, catch up. They keep having really nice removal, though. Mill a bunch. They don't. They don't mill a bunch. Alright, I get to play both of these. I guess I just... This is awkward. Play out a bunch of muscle. I don't know. I could have slow rolled it and... Man, they really stabilized. Playing an Elder as a removal spell into Dragon Sniper, into a 5/5 blocker, into another removal spell. They've really done a good job stabilizing here against a lot of pressure. That Sniper's just getting me. Looks like the Kishla Village is probably going to be pretty good this game. Man, into another reach blocker. They've really got the walls up over there. Let's go ahead and surveil and see what's coming. How good is Snakeskin Veil going to be here? I could see it being reasonable. I guess I'll bin an island and draw the Veil. I don't know. One, two, three. This is 5, 10. Do I just swing out with my two big things here? Since they both have Renew. You could trade Sniper for Pummeler and Pummeler for Keeper, but then he gets to just renew onto his stuff, which is awkward. I'm probably just going to have to rely on grinding this out with Kishla Village so that I just never draw a land, basically. Man, that's going to be almost unbeatable at this stage. And a trick. Wow. Completely annihilated. 2 cards in hand. I'm just dead. Yep, that was rough. Man, okay, they have a very good defensive deck. I was playing big creatures and they were just not having it. I think I'm going to cut all the red. Run some counter spells. With the Death Touchers and stuff, I don't see the big elephants being all that great. Is this 17 lands? Yeah. Maybe I run some counterattack to all of their combat tricks. They played a bunch of things that this would answer pretty nicely. Could totally blow them out if they play like a combat trick and we play this in response. I don't have much black though, actually. I have 5 black sources in the deck. Alright, I don't know. Just adapting. I don't feel like I can pressure them down all that easily if they're just going to have a whole deck of removal and really good blockers. Yeah, this is fine. Untapped if you control an island. Alright, I'm on the play with a counterspell into an Appraiser. Eventually I could play the Kieran to do something. I'm going to play an untapped land just to hold up Exhale. I'm going to go ahead and counter this. Because if they were relying on it to fix their lands, they could get really screwed over. Let's see what we find off the Appraiser. Okay. If I had other creatures in play, the Serpent would be pretty sweet. But the Exhale is just too awkward with only one creature, so... guess I will keep the Serpent. Okay. Swing with the Appraiser for 2. This has flash? Alright. Bargain. At this point, playing the Kieran, I'm going to kind of wait and see what they play. But, I could play the Kieran and just leave the Appraiser in play and then bounce their blocker to get a good amount of damage in. They've got their own Appraiser. Alright. I'm going to fetch back my own Appraiser. That's pretty annoying because that's a really bad thing to target with the Serpent. Mm-hmm. Gonna bring my own Appraiser back to hand. Playing the Serpent just doesn't do much here. Gonna replay my Appraiser. Routine to the graveyard? I guess that's fine. Play a tapped land, hit him for 2 in the air. Now, with a little flyer chipping in for damage, I might be able to just like bounce their blockers if they play like a reach guy. I I don't really see a reason to trade here. Since I'm probably going to bounce whatever blocker they play. Huh, interesting. They pass without doing anything. What is this, like the flashy dragon? The 4/3? Humbling Elder. Okay. So they're gonna trade... Oh, they want to keep their Elder alive and just trade with the Appraiser. Alright, whatever. Thought they would do that differently. I'm gonna just go for the 6-drop here. See if they have a counter. They don't. Ah, they had it again. Alright. Man, they keep playing things that the Serpents are bad against, so that's something to keep in mind. Sage of the Skies, you say? You know, I'm 1 mana short of being able to double spell here without having to... I think I'm going to give up a hit to get another Sage of the Skies in play. So I'm going to tap this. This is also good against all this open blue mana because this actually gets around counter spells. This only cares about casts. So this is borderline unraceable, and if they play something chunky that can actually block all these little flyers, then I can Serpent it out of the way. Unless they just have like a whole handful of removal spells, which it seems like they might. Wow. Wow. Their whole deck is removal. I'm gonna play this just because there's still nothing good to Serpent, but eventually there probably will be. 1 mana short of Surveilling, too. But this is just a big chunky thing, and they don't have any attacks through it. They got more removal? Just gonna bounce it. Alright, that's fine. I go to 8. Guess I'm playing a Serpent at this point. And bouncing the only thing that's reasonable to bounce, which is the Devotee. I've got 2 blockers now. I'm still chipping in for 2 in the air. Running out of gas, though. Which is a little wild after copying Sage of the Skies, playing Sibzig Appraiser. They have so much removal! This is crazy. Guess I should have surveilled on upkeep. There's nothing good to Serpent. Man, it's really annoying that this is a compelled trigger. But I can't have them just hitting me to death, so I guess I give them a free card draw with selection. Got no other choice. About to be able to Severance away the enchantment before it can fetch them something. But, like, ugh, I'm just gonna lose. Brutal match. The Serpent has been exceptionally bad against them. Creature or land, huh? They get to get back a wildling. I think I have to exile this. There's a lot of things I'm dead to here. I'm gonna stop on my upkeep. That puts me to 1. Just the fact that they did that probably means they have another removal spell or trick or something. What a frustrating deck. Removal, removal, removal. Removal, removal. I just haven't been able to stick anything, and they played like 4 cards that are all really good against the Serpent. Alright, our deck wasn't able to do anything. Frustrating match. See if this goes better. I mean, this looks great. Turn 2 Botanist. All our fixing. Nice removal spell. Draw a land for free. Play our own agent, I guess. I don't feel compelled to use this knockout maneuver to take care of a 2/1, so. And I'm feeling like, okay, well. Now I probably use an agent to burn their agent just to swing in for more damage. Strike Mastery. I think I am going to knock out maneuver because we're pressuring them pretty effectively. And the Serpent's going to knock out another blocker. And I still get to play creature into untapping the Botanist, so they're going to be, yeah. We could probably win the game on tempo here. Bounce the Stag, hit for 3 again. This is starting to add up to a lot of damage. Next turn, get to Death Gorger. And the Stag again. I could 1 mana short of using spell half of this and untapping this guy. Because I could also put a counter on something and swing in for actual damage. And draw a card. This, if I put the counter on this, it's getting me 3 damage for now. Which is kind of the same as if I play the flyer half. And I'm out of gas. Kind of want to do that. Just going to grow this so I can swing with both. Hope I draw something relevant. Yeah, that was pretty good. Every time we try to apply pressure, there's instant regret. There's so many defensive tricks in this format. Random card. Wow. They hit a 6-drop off the Dragon Storm. Alright. That's annoying. Gonna attack with the Pummeler. Kill your dragon. Actually, they hit a 6-drop dragon that returned the storm. That is rough. Guess I renew this onto that. Oh, this isn't harmonized. Alright. Can't discard it. Count it by tapping a creature. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Please don't hit another dragon. Another stag, huh? Well, that's going to be borderline impossible to push through. You know? I'm actually going to trade with this, because pushing through these with all these ground things is basically impossible. And this lets me untap the botanist and just attack into them. So that's fun. Leave him on top. That lets us get rid of the plains for something. For vigilance. Play this. I think I played that last turn poorly. Ditch a rainforest. Counters on this. Because it's big enough to block the leopard. Can you be out of gas, please? They hit for 11. How many stags are they running? Alright. Now I get to draw a card. Can untap this anytime. I've got a Severance. Alright. Black, green, white. I can cast this for 4. White, black, and 2. And still have up Snakeskin Veil. And I can untap the blocker if I need to, so... No, I can't untap the blocker, but that's fine. Alright. As long as they don't top deck a counterspell. Do not spend green. Black, white. Blue. Oh, those become unblockable? This game's just over. Wow. It's going terribly. I mean, this deck isn't the best, but also these games have been super brutal. This is definitely like a C-D+ deck, but getting kind of extra punished here. Dispelling Exhale. They're just on mono stags. But I'm just chunky ground guys that all have like 4 power and can't push through it. This can't get through, This can't get through, This can't get through, Alright, This trades with them on defense. Like, everything is bad. Playing Alesha's Legacy, I guess. And another Exhale. No. Rough, rough, rough. Turn 2 agent into turn 3 champion. To turn 4 envoy if we want. If we find something else to play, I would like to Snakeskin Veil before the envoy to draw a card, but I will trade. If you offer. Wow. Okay, yep. I mean, that gives me graveyard value. That seems like a bad trade. Especially given that that could have blocked this. Now I probably agent onto the Trampler. Looks like they're playing removal though. Ministry. Oh, okay. I'm gonna play the Appraiser. Draw a card. Put that in hand. Ditch a forest. I want a forest. Now we can put counters on this thing and play the envoy. Kieran's gonna be nice eventually when I can actually cast it. I'm gonna agent onto the Appraiser. Swing. I have Snakeskin Veil to protect it against removal. And then I get to play the Envoy next turn and draw a card. Alright, let's see what they hit. Humpling Elder. Alright, well, Veil doesn't do anything about that. But at least it wasn't... Yeah, that was a weak hit, so I'll take it. At this point, I probably just resolve the Death Gorger while they are tapped out. Doesn't do anything. Now the Appraiser's probably safe from targeted removal because they're going to prioritize hitting the Death Gorger. Okay, they're playing a Stag. They're going to kill something? They've only got 1 mana. Wow. I'm gonna trade with this. Because 8 is a lot. There we go. Severance is gonna be pretty good here. I kind of want to play the Envoy, though. I'm okay with waiting a turn on the Severance. There we go. Nice. Alright, we get to swing for 4. They're under a lot of pressure. We've got a Serpent to bounce whatever they play on defense over there. Snakeskin Veil to protect against removal. But of course they don't have any. They're going to hit because they have nothing else to do. Serpent. Nice. Alright, just going to Serpent and hold up Snakeskin Veil. We're just winning the race at this point. They can't really get 15 damage in or whatever. Leopard. At this point, they're tapped out. I Snakeskin Veil the Serpent, giving me an additional lethal creature. Untap Champion, just to show them fewer cards. Alright. So they've got a bunch of high power creatures that are kind of evasive. You know, Twin Bolt is good against the Stags. And the Leopard. Should I be running red for Twin Bolt? And they showed almost no removal. Maybe I'll play red for Twin Bolt and Teeming Dragonstorm's also okay against the Stags and the Leopard. Maybe I go more in a 5-color direction here. Take out the counter spells. Put in the Dragonstorm just because it can shut down multiple of their creatures at once. I don't know, I'll try this. Keep. Probably play the Kirin just for turn 2 pressure. Bluff a counterspell. Just a flyer on turn 2, a 2-power flyer on turn 2 is just good in general. Alright. We're searching up a basic. Just gonna play the Kirin to start chipping in for damage. Plane Appraiser to block up the ground. This gives us the black we need for the Gold Keeper. But it means I end up doing knockout maneuver instead of whatever else I was going to do. I guess that's fine. I do need to hit black at some point. It's annoying that it's tapped, but it'll keep me playing a spell every turn. Alright. I'm gonna take the... I'm gonna take the hit from the Sentinel. There's a Twin Bolt. Yeah, now I'm going to have a 3-power flyer. They go to 13. Oh, wow. They're swinging for a lot. Man, their deck is super aggro. Twin Bolt would be amazing here. I think given all the aggression here... you know... I'm just gonna play the Dragon Storm. They might be able to swing in for a bunch of damage, but then we can kind of roadblock them a little bit. They're kind of trying to race, and the Serpent's going to make that difficult. Yeah, the Stag is so bad. Alright. I'm going to play the Serpent to bounce the Stag. Swing with everything. They trade off a creature, go to 1. Now they're staring down 4 things. The Reverberating Summons isn't good. The Stag isn't good. They've got 3 other cards in hand to try to do something. Constrictor Sage does not do it. And they're dead to Twin Bolt. Alright, we picked up the win. After a frustrating game 1. Let's pick up another one. I think I want to tweak the deck a little. This deck is a mess. I'm going to cut all the red by default. I can still board into it. But I feel like it shouldn't be there by default. Just stretch too thin. And instead of the red, I'll just run... Exhale. I think the exhales are okay even with a low dragon count. What did I do? Is the last card better to be a Teeming Dragonstorm or another exhale? Only got 2 dragons. I think there's matchups where I'll bring in the Dragonstorm. Like, it was really good against that deck because they just had a bunch of X2s and they were very aggressive. But in the abstract, the exhales are probably better, I guess. I do have 2 dragons, so sometimes in the late game there'll be proper counterspells and they're decent curve fillers just to... Even if they were just a 2-mana mana leak all the time, that's like passable sometimes. It's not great. Oh dear. I'm gonna keep this because I can cycle the Death Gorger if I get desperate. Let's see an extra card to try to hit my colors. Looks like that's what I'm gonna do. Drew another blue card. Botanist. Yikes. Ugh. This is bad. Alright, didn't draw them a card. They kept whatever it was on top. At least I get to play a Pummeler next turn. Happy to see them tap out so that they can't counterspell me. Dragon Spray's fine. I need to hit a blue, though. This becomes a very different hand if I hit a blue source. It's really bad. Probably going to lose this game now. Unless they don't have a counterspell and I hit an island. I'm going to wait till their turn so that they have to tap their mana on their turn. No counterspell. Alright. That buys me a good amount of time. Still getting slowly murdered, though. Really need an island. I drew a blue card. I've had so many peaks to try to hit a blue source. Still nothing. They didn't have a counterspell last time. I'd rather not give them time to hit an answer to this. Just need to get power off the table. If they have a Snakeskin Veil, I'm just dead. Alright, buying myself time. I kept no blue hand and have drawn 5 cards since and not hit a blue source. Which is rough. I have 0 castable cards. About to be too far behind to catch up. Can't even double spell this with anything because the rest of my hand is all blue. Got nothing else to do. Dead to any removal. Keep a no blue hand, draw a blue card, and no islands in the top 6. With 7 blue sources in the deck. Alright. 7 blue sources in the deck, none of them were in the top 3rd. They have Dragonback Assault. Alright. That card is insanely hard to beat. I need to run high toughness creatures. Globe would make the Gold Keeper survive it. Do I have any ways to kill enchantments? Definitely got to run counter spells. I mean, Kintry Severance gets rid of it. The Pummeler, the Envoy, and the Death Gorger survive it. Serpent's pretty awkward against it. Mammoth Bellow goes over the top of it nicely if they don't have a Dragonstorm Globe in play. Need to drop something. Kind of ran out of time to fix my mana base, but it's alright. Uncastable. Probably uncastable forever. I think I have to mulligan this. Alright, this is fine. Gotta ditch one of these lands. Alright, there's a second counterspell. If they do nothing, I'll probably... I'm going to do this just to use my mana, and because you never know, sometimes this can just get them stuck on mana, stop them from developing, and it also takes them off of a potential 2-2 blocker for the champion. I think it's worth exhaling, probably. Botanist. Botanist is pretty annoying. Oh, sick. Alright. Good exhale. Swing for 4. Globe is just doing nothing this game. They missed a land drop. If they have Dragonback Assault in their hand, this might mean that they never get to cast it this game, which would be great. What are they oops about? Yep. I'll draw the Envoy because the Pummeler can be played from the graveyard. Now if they play like a blocker or something, I can maybe go over the top of it. Alright, Leopard. I feel like I need to end this game before they're able to get to Dragonstorm. Or Dragonback Assault. Gonna swing with both of these and probably fresh start the Leopard. Alright, that's fine. Well, in turn. Are they planning to just Leopard the Globe? Ooh. Now they can Leopard the Globe in response, but that's fine. Yeah, because I don't actually need the Globe. They just think I need the Globe. And if they didn't hit a land here, yeah. Oh, Exhale is great too. They're raging. Alright, I'm going to play another creature. The thing I really want to exhale is a 6-drop, and this puts so much pressure down, they're going to have a hard time. Yeah. Alright, this is how the deck is supposed to function. So, now we're on the draw and need to not get killed by Dragonback Assault, which is going to be tough. The serpents are very awkward against it. Maybe I want to run Snakeskin Veil because it could maybe take a 3 toughness creature to where it survives the assault sweep. And it's also just a good tempo play for keeping pressure on them if they're trying to like disrupt our attacks. They also just played a bite spell that it would be really good against. What do I drop though? I think I dropped the globe. I didn't get a chance to fix my mana properly last time, though. I need a mountain for fetching off of routine. So that's 1, 2, 3. I only have 3 red sources. My red splash is actually really bad. I don't think I can do what I'm trying to do. I guess the serpents are okay if they resolve the Dragonback Assault, just for bouncing the first token that they make. Not sure what to run here. How many lands am I on? 15. I also just want my colors to be a little more consistent. I guess I'll run 1 serpent and... I don't know. Just gonna run the serpents. Maybe a serpent and a Alesh's Legacy. Because it's another way to maybe stop the botanist from just running rampant if they get one down on turn 2. I don't know. Fresh start. Sage of the Skies. Ugh. This is a great turn 5. But what am I going to do before that? Hopefully draw something to do. Not... The island is literally the worst draw in my deck. This is the only land I didn't want. That gives me 2 of my missing colors, I guess. Appraiser's fine because it's kind of slow. I can take a couple hits from that and not be in too much trouble. I will pass holding up Dragon's Prey. And then the turn after that, Envoy, and then the turn after that, Double Spell, hopefully. That seems okay. Take a hit from the 2. Hoping they play something I can Dragon's Prey here. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's a great target for it. Tapped out for something that's not a dragon that is worth killing. Alright. This is looking pretty good, because I can play the Envoy. It grows big enough to not get swept by the Assault. Next turn I can fresh start whatever they're about to play into Sage of the Skies, doubling it. Obviously Dragonback Assault's still going to just sweep the board and ruin me if it gets to that point, but hopefully we've got a few turns before that, or they just don't draw it. They might be stuck on land. They're stuck on land, and we drew a counterspell? Wow. That's great. This is really good. If I need to, I can force this through with a counterspell. I get to swing freely. If they have a combat trick, we get to punish it. Yeah, that doesn't really do anything. Then we get to Sage of the Skies. And copy it. Now they're stuck on 3 land and just woefully behind on board. They're going to have a hard time dealing with this many things. That card's been coming up a lot this draft. All my opponents have been running it. I don't usually play it, but it's been pretty good. I guess it's also a good sideboard card in the best of 3 drafts. Alright. Now I'm just gonna probably win. Because they're under a lot of pressure. They're behind on development. And I've got a removal spell and a counter spell to kind of keep stable and keep them from doing anything too busted. Gotta be cognizant of Dragonback Assault. Probably hesitated longer than I should have, giving away the counterspell a little bit. Alright, next turn they could Dragonback Assault, which would put them back in the game. So I think I'm gonna let them... I guess I couldn't counterspell it anyway. I think I actually exhale this. Oh, such a good draw. Holy crap. Alright. Swing with both. Now they can't really Dragonback Assault. That does nothing. I'm going to let it resolve. Nice. We're just chewing up all of their things. Play more pressure. It's looking pretty good. They're gonna need multiple cheap interactive spells to, like, stabilize here. They're under a lot of pressure. That doesn't kill it. Alright, nice. Alright, had a rough start to that draft and wasn't super happy with the draft in general, but then picked up 2 matches afterwards, so went okay. Not bad, not bad. What time is it? That went fairly quick. I can continue with one more. Alright, 3 seats filled. I'm going to AFK for a second, refill coffee. Be right back. This is going well. Alright, 6 out of 8. I believe a draft will actually happen soon. Alright. Woo! We got it. See what we got. That's a hoof, daddy. Greater hoof in this format. Funnily enough, I would not be surprised if the Traveling Botanist was a better pick here, or the Sibsig Appraiser, but I'm going to take the hoof anyway. It's beefy. It's pretty good. As a pack one, pick one, we can probably build around it, meaning trying to ramp and make sure we have some creatures in play. And it is pretty stinking gross when it works. Okay. Here's a choice point. Kishless Skimmer's very good. Sonic Shrieker's also very good. I think Sonic Shrieker is amazing if we end up in the 5-color deck with a lot of ramp, which I could make with the Crater Hoof, but with triple green, this seems very ambitious, so... and I don't think this is playable. There's also a Wingblade Disciple. I think I'm going to take the Skimmer. Because with triple green, I'm not going to be able to lean that hard into the Jeskai storming off kind of thing. Maelstrom of the Spirit Dragon's interesting, but my first 2 picks don't necessarily make me think I'm pushing into the 5-color dragon thing. Bewildering Blizzard is very good. Unending Whisper also very good. Whisper might be better. It can more consistently... It can be cast from the graveyard with the Skimmer. Pummeler's okay. This guy's okay. Yeah, I think given that I have the Skimmer in the deck, I'll do this. Try to lean into harmonized shenanigans. Ooh. I could get spicy and try to do the Essence Anchor thing. I haven't even seen anybody try to do this yet. But the thing about it is... No. I take back what I was about to say. This should wheel, and so I can take it on the wheel. Got 2 good fixers here, and a Night Watch. Tactician. This is an awkward pack. Not too excited about it. It's kind of between the Tri-Land and the Night Watch. I might just be straight Sultai. The Night Watch goes well with these 2. I don't think the Night Watch is great, but... it does play nicely with the things I have. Could take a Trade Route Envoy. I guess I'll take a Dispelling Exhale. It's probably the best card. We don't have any dragons yet, but... This is tough. I guess I'll take Focus the Mind. Sage of the Fang is nice. It does the graveyard thing. I have 3 cards in that direction currently. Champion's also pretty good. I think Sage is better. And definitely harder to come by. Yeah. I'd run Swiftwater Cliff since there's a decent chance I end up in Teamer, but I'll take the Wildling. This is kind of late. It's one of the better commons. Island Dragon? Yup. This Dispelling Exhale is looking better and better. There's a Dismal Backwater for Sultai, but right now I'm basically just green-blue. If I end up in, like, actual 2 colors, that's going to make the Behemoth a lot easier to cast with his triple green over there. Nothing here really does much. I'll take the Earth Carver, which is a top-end chunky thing. I don't want to play any of these cards. I'll take a Fixer in case I end up 5 colors. Good morning. The Kingfisher, yeah. Sorry, I had chat minimized because I was looking at 17 lands. Yeah, it would be good with the hoof. If you're talking about the blue one that spits out the bird tokens, that would be very good with the hoof just because it makes more tokens, which makes him lethal. This card is good. It's the wrong color, but it's probably an easy splash. It's also Dragonfire Blade, but I want my creature count high. And I have almost no multicolor things. This doesn't seem like the deck for it. Zergo's Vanguard for creature count. Jungle Hollow I would like to take later. Champion is also just a good filler card for this deck, but I'd hate to first pick a champion. Maybe I end up in an unconventional color combination here. Play like green, blue, white. This is a good way to get two creatures into play at the same time. It's not great. But it's okay. It's also just a fresh start in a Dragonstorm Globe. I have 2 dragons and the Behemoth to ramp into right now. Oh, you know what? This might actually be a really good deck for the Rejuvenator. But this is... Oh, yeah. This is a good deck for the Rejuvenator. It ramps 2 mana for the Behemoth. I'm already looking to splash white. I'm going to take Anafenza and hope that that ramp guy comes back, because he's usually pretty bad. I would love a Molten Exhale, but I have 0 red, and I'm already worried about my color situation. The Caustic Exhale and the Wildling are both pretty good. This is also good fixing for all these splashes. Alright, now I have 3 dragons in the deck, and I am playing white, so... And a Dispelling Exhale. So this is looking to be turning into some kind of dragon deck. Eventually I want to get these dual lands coming back, but I might just be leaning heavy on being like green focused for the fixers. I'm going to snooze the ad so it doesn't roll while I'm drafting cards. Ooh. I really want the Opulent Palace. But I'm going to take the Dragonstorm Globe. I currently have 3 dragons and a Storm and an Exhale. I'm kind of ending up in the Dragons deck. The ramp is nice for getting to the Behemoth at a reasonable time frame. I thought this guy was what you were referring to earlier, Theseus. The Kingfisher is which one? Wingblade Disciple's nice for making tokens for Behemoth. But... yeah, maybe that's a good enough reason on its own. It's just a generally good card. This isn't the perfect deck for it, but... I have no red in my deck. This is like the only kind of fixer I would not want to run. Riverwalk Technique is a very good removal spell. I'm going to run that. There we go. That's a good fixer. The Skimmer. Yeah. Let's see. Green-blue fixer. Even if this was just a green-blue duel, I'd be happy. Maybe the red ends up mattering. Maybe it doesn't. Whole lot of nothing here. I'll take a Twin Bolt for the sideboard. Because last draft it ended up being a good sideboard card. The Rejuvenator came back. Alright. So here's the dealio. I've got a disproportionate amount of top end and a fair amount of graveyard shenanigans. I think this Rejuvenator is usually pretty medium. But the mill is relevant for like the Road Watcher. And I could list all the reasons. But the mill is relevant. This is the best card in the pack. We'll see if I end up playing red. Ooh, another Riverwalk Technique. And a Sweep? Sweep is hard to cast. I'm going to sideboard it for now. This ramps you. This basically gives you a mana. Maybe multiple. If I've got one of these things in play, then it becomes 2 mana, which can jump me from like 6 to 8 for the hoof. I really need more fixing at some point. Stormbrood is very good. So's Dispelling Exhale, but I don't have a lot of dragons yet. I have 3 dragons. I guess if I'm core green, then the wildlings count as fixing, so does the globe. Maybe I can be greedy and pick up the Stormbrood? At this point, I am playing red. I really want the Dispelling Exhale, but not until I have at least one more dragon, so... There's the Armament Dragon. Alright. We're in Dragon's Ramp. I'm hoping to pick up, like, Exhales, Storms, and Globes before this is over. There's a Mox Jasper. I guess this plays well with the Dragon Storm and the Wingblade Disciple. Kind of. He's hard to cast, and he's not super synergistic with my deck, though. But there's also nothing else in this pack I'm super excited about. I'm skeptical that I'm going to be able to cast this guy, but I'll take him and see where my fixing ends up. There's Dragon Cluster. Oh, there's another Wildling. And an Armament Dragon. Oh, man. Oh, the Armament Dragon is better, I'm pretty sure. But the Wildling is going to help so much. I'm going to take the Wildling. Triple Wildling means if I'm heavy green, I have all my color fixing. There's Essence Anchor, but I didn't really end up in that direction. I was thinking about it early on. But this deck has other things it's doing. You know... Either Devotee's probably fine in this deck. I'll take the Death Toucher one. I'd like the Tranquil Cove too, but... This is fixing... a globe, you say? I think this card is bad. But this is the deck for it if it's ever playable. I'll take a Rebuke. It's a good tempo play because I have a lot of 3s. You can like play it straight into any of this stuff. Especially the globes and stuff. Like if you're behind on development and draw a globe on like turn 4 or 5, you can just Rebuke globe immediately to kind of catch back up. There's a very late sweep. Do I have 2 sweeps in my sideboard? I do. I mean, I'll have to think about whether I want to play those. I didn't end up with very much land fixing, but I have a lot of like spell-based fixing. I've got 2 globes and 3 wildlings, so I need to be green heavy. How many lands are in the deck? 17 right now. Whoops. Alright, how to do this? Definitely running. How good is the Skimmer? I'm definitely playing these 2. I don't have a lot of things to play from the graveyard. Actually, I have almost none. I have 2 in the whole deck. A 2/2 flyer that maybe draws you a card once in a while. I'm light on 2s as well, though. I'm gonna run the full 17 lands, even with 5 additional ways to make mana, because this deck is so top heavy. I'm gonna play Whisper, Dragonfire. I think the Skimmer maybe doesn't make the cut. It's not really what this deck's doing. But maybe that's silly, I don't know. This is busted in Mardu, but 3 mana 2/2 flash first strike that spits out tokens or grows over time. This is a tricky build. Oh wait, I have these 2 renews as well. Yeah, okay, the skimmer makes the cut. I forgot a couple of these. I've got 4 graveyard things and several ways to kind of self-mill. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dragons. So that's good for the storm. It's good for the exhale. I need to keep the 2-drops because I'm light on 2-drops. I'm wondering if Anafenza is just too awkward in this deck. I haven't played with it. It seems like it could be strong. But like the main way my creatures are going to die is removal, which is going to target her if they have it. It makes tokens for the behemoth so that it's lethal when it enters, but I don't know. It's also white, which is like a splash and kind of hard to get in this deck. I feel like this is pretty close to the worst possible deck for this. It's just a question of whether it's strong enough to play anyway. I think maybe the answer's no. It's not a dragon for the dragon stuff. I don't have a ton of token synergies for it. It doesn't do any graveyard stuff for kind of this package. I think I'm going to ditch it. I like the Rejuvenator in this deck because this is kind of a deck with 2 sides. It's a ramp into big stuff deck, and it's a do stuff in the graveyard deck, and the Rejuvenator kind of plays with both halves. I probably want to play one of these and not the other. What removal do I have? Dragonfire, Dispelling Exhale, 2 Riverwalk techniques. Maybe Rebuke should go just because it's red and a little hard to cast. They have a lot of expensive stuff. And the Earth Carver is not a dragon. It's probably my worst top-end piece. It can go. Let's go ahead and set this up by Wingblade Disciple's not its best in this deck, but I do have like Unending Whisper, Channel Dragonfire, and the Wildlings. So I've kind of got 5 1-mana spells. Yeah, I guess the Disciple's fine. I actually have a lot of ways to double spell. Here's the Champion. Here's the 2 Globes. I have a lot of 3s. How many actual dragons? 6. The 2 Globes should be good. I'm going to keep in Focus the Mind. I'm a little light on card draw. Graveyard stuff, graveyard stuff. This deck has like 4 different themes in it, but maybe the Night Watch is clunky enough to cast and clunky enough in general that it can get cut. So that just leaves 1 more card. I like Focus the Mind in this deck with all of the 1-mana plays and just generally needing card draw. Some amount of card draw is good in these ramp decks just to get enough lands to get where you need to be. 17 lands. Definitely going to fix the mana situation in a minute. But 1 more cut. I don't want to cut a dragon. Stormbrood is also like a kind of medium counter spell, but it could counter like combat tricks and stuff, so the fact that it's red is okay. I'm tempted to cut Channel Dragonfire. Just because red is a little hard to come by. And the double red Harmonize is going to be almost impossible. Well, no, with Dragonstorm Globes and stuff. What do I drop? One of you cards is going away. You know what? This is a best of 3 format, and I feel like Channel Dragonfire will be a decent sideboard option. I could bring it in against the decks that it's good against. Alright, so this is like a Dragon's Ramp thing. Twos, threes, fours, fours. There we go. Something felt weird. 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s, and the 8. That's my creature count. 15, and really it's higher than that because of Teeming Dragonstorm. Teeming Dragonstorm's going to be nice in the same deck with Craterhoof. Because you want to have like 3 other things in play to like guarantee that he kills them. I mean, if you play him when you have 2 other things in play, then he is a 7/7, and they both get +3/+3. If you have like 2 2/2s in play and you play him, then you're swinging for 17 trample. That pretty much kills them. But if you have 3 other things in play, that's where he pretty much guaranteed kills them. And the Disciple and the Dragonstorm should ensure that that happens by the time I get to him. I like that this guy represents 2 bodies as well, oftentimes. We have a decently high creature count. Yeah, I like this deck. It's got a lot of muscle. It's a little light on removal, but... Oh, I have to fix the lands. There's only 2 black cards in the whole deck, and there's 2 globes already, and 3 ways to fetch them. So I'm dropping down to 1 swamp. Kind of the same situation with plains. I can go down to 1 plains and 1 swamp. Because there's 3, 4, 5 ways to fix for them already in the deck, which means there's 6 of each kind of already. And I really need to hit green for this. My main colors are definitely green-blue. I've got room for 3 lands here. There's arguably no red in the deck. I actually don't need to run a mountain for the Stormbrood because A, it can be cast as a counterspell in a pinch. B, I have red off of the Dragonstorm Globes, and it is the only card in the deck that is red. Although 1 mountain represents like 3 more red sources. Oh wait, there's also a Frontier Bivouac. Okay. This is really a green-blue deck. Splashing every other color. Oh wait, there is another red card in the deck. 7, 8... 11, 12, 13... Okay. I will run 1 mountain, I guess. Or I run 1 Bloodfell Caves. Bloodfell Caves is super awkward in this deck because both of its colors are splash colors and it's not fetchable by the Wildling. So in a roundabout way, it becomes really kind of clunky. Maybe I kill the Battle Crier just because it's pretty annoying to cast. And it's messing up my mana a little bit. And put in just like Night Watch or Earth Carver. Do I run another big top end piece? Maybe it's Night Watch, because I have how many graveyard things? 1, 2. Kind of 3. 4. I don't know if that's enough. Look at my mana curve. 1s, 2s, 3s. I'm like... the middle of my curve is 4 drops. I'm a little worried about getting overrun early on. So I guess just running this as another body is fine. I could also just do Anafenza, but that white splash is awkward, and it's not the best deck for it. I'm kind of deciding whether I want to be greedy and run another giant thing just to make sure in the late game I absolutely have super deep gas, or run the Night Watch just to smooth the draws and have a 3/3 blocker in play. I don't know. Night Watch or Earthcarver. I have 1, 2, 3. How many ways to ramp do I have? Like 3 actual ramp spells, and then I have the wildlings just to make sure I'm hitting land drops every turn consistently. Nah, I'll play the Night Watch, I guess. It's very mediocre in this deck, but it kind of plays okay with these 4 things. It's a body, and I'm a little worried about just getting overrun while ramping, so I guess that's fine. I think it's a pretty tough call between these. But the other upside of the Earthcarver is it's 2 bodies for the hoof, and it has reach. It stabilizes me really well. I'm going to be super greedy and just play way too high of a curve. Alright, we've got 17 here. 7 blue, 9 green. Everything else is splashed off of wildlings and globes. Alright. This is a greedy ramp deck. If I end up against like Mardu or something, I'm going to take out that 6-drop and put in the 3-drop. Just to have him blocking. Yeah, Graveyard Dragons. That is a great band name, too. Metal AF. I feel pretty medium about this deck, but it could be decent. Those Sagu Wildlings are really going to tie the whole deck together. Oh, this is a really bad hand. Okay. All Flood, no plays until turn 4. I have to mulligan this. No! I have a wildling to fetch a land, so this is kind of a 2-lander. Gotta keep it. Ugh. Guess I search for a blue. Yikes. It also really sucks to mulligan in a ramp deck because you need so many cards, just total cards. I'm happy to see a defensive play. I'm also very happy to draw a swamp. Because my hand is slow. My deck has a good late game. Hopefully they don't pressure too much. So now I get to play like Sage or Champion. Agent. So I guess I'm playing Sage. Okay. Playing Sage. Next turn I could Disciple into Wildling. Just playing the Sage because it's big enough to block the Agent. No reason to lose life. If they want to like swing into it with a combat trick or something, that's fine. Oh, the Stag again. I faced this guy a lot earlier. Hitting all my lands. I think I'm gonna just play the Rejuvenator. Just to get the engines going. This is a card I didn't want to have in the graveyard. But Sage of the Fang should be able to block the Stag for now. And the Rejuvenator is going to be nice for just ramping. That does basically nothing. He puts an island on top. I will block with Sage of the Fang. The Stag is kind of annoying in the late game just because it becomes unblockable, so I'll trade off with that and get graveyard value. That's fine. Play a Forest. This is not a spell, so it will not trigger the Disciple, which is awkward. So I think I'm going to play the Disciple. I have 4 mana. You can't breath me. Into Champion. And if they breath this, that's fine, because I already got the cast trigger, and this has graveyard value. They're thinking for a long time. They must have a counterspell. I've made it very awkward for them to play a counterspell. Yeah, like, that is a bad counterspell. Not saying that they should not have played it, but it was weak because it puts something into the graveyard that has value, and it trade with a 2/1, why not? Alright. Oh, that's a nice draw. Glad to see this card doing work. Let's renew onto... Let's renew onto the Rejuvenator. Then double the number. I guess Rejuvenator was an awkward target. I just wanted something big enough to block the Pummeler, but now I realize I have to tap it to grow it more. Which is also awkward. This only triggers once each turn. I could cycle the Wildling just to trigger the Wingblade Disciple token. But I could see the dragon being pretty nice here. I think I'm just going to chill. This is not an efficient use of mana, but all of my options are kind of bad, and I'm not under a ton of pressure. They might even be just completely out of gas over there. We'll see. If they're on their last card in hand. That is a fantastic draw. Because they're out of gas and we get to just sort of chill out until we draw something busted. I will keep growing the Rejuvenator. I don't mind putting all my eggs in that basket now that I can, The globe's awkward, but I can cast it next turn. I want to hold up Exhale. This guy taps for double green, but if I tap him, I don't have a blocker. I'm just going to chill. We're giving them a lot of time to draw their way out of this, but we're also under no pressure and have a very strong late game in our deck. I'm fine just chilling out and kind of not doing a lot. I'm going to hold this Exhale for anything big that actually matters. Looks like they're trying to kill the Rejuvenator with something. I guess they've had enough. The Leopard was going to be able to kill the Globe, but I didn't need the Globe that badly. Alright, so we're against a very defensive... kind of Sultai, maybe Teamer deck. We didn't really see anything scary. This seems more like Sultai, but then they've got the Teamer Devotee. We didn't really see what they're up to. They're just playing big stuff and blocking up the board to try to win with Stags in the late game, I guess. I don't know. Not too exciting. I don't feel like I need to put in the Night Watch. I'm fine with just leaning into the late game. It feels like we're both playing late game decks, so I can take my time. And I didn't see anything in their deck that could go over the top, but that doesn't mean they don't have it, so... I'm going to keep the slow version of the deck. I didn't see anything I really wanted to cast the 1 mana red shock on either, so... this is actually 0 castable cards before turn 4, and I have none of the dragons to fix my lands off of green. This is an exceptionally bad hand, but it's almost keepable just because... I have 18 cards in my deck still that would immediately fix this hand. Well, not necessarily. My forests are bad. I really hate mulliganing in ramp decks. It's so bad to do. Just because you need all your cards. Sagu Wildling, any of the 3 copies of that, or basically any land, would immediately make this a good hand. And I'm on the draw. So I get to peek at like 3 cards to find any non-green land or a Sagu Wildling. This deck is unusually resistant to getting mana screwed because of all the 1 mana land cyclers. And it is unusually bad to mulligan because it needs to ramp up to expensive stuff, and I don't want to go down on card count. So even though this is risky and clunky, I think I'm just going to walk into my own trap here. Okay, well, it's fine. Island is great because now I can cycle the dragon. It's a lot less likely I... Turn 1 Elder? Alright. How aggressive are you planning to play this game, friend? Hope your 1 damage a turn is worth it. Oh, well, they are curving out. Alright, I'm going to tap the leopard just to take less damage. Hopefully draw something I can play. Presumably if they're playing a 1 into a 2, they have a 3. And they're trying to tempo me out, so... I'm expecting a 3-drop here. Yep. Alright. This is a lot more pressure than I was expecting to face, and I didn't draw a 3-drop. Drew a Riverwalk technique, hoping the Rejuvenator can stabilize me and catch me up. But if they just have this into like a Riverwalk technique of their own, I'm pretty screwed. Sentinel's not that great. It's also possible that I do like Rejuvenator into being able to Road Watcher at some point and get multiple bodies in play, but this is a lot. Not what I wanted. Alright. Play the Rejuvenator and just hope they don't have removal. I will definitely mill. I would have liked that Sagu Wildling. That would have been nice for the life gain. Do they have removal? They do. They don't. Maybe they have a trick. Alright. I'm gonna do the thing. That's not the worst. I'm in a lot of trouble. This can fix for black. I'm gonna play the Devotee, and I have Riverwalk technique up. Can almost cast Focus the Mind, but not quite. Because I need to hold up Riverwalk technique. Pretty badly. Okay. We're gonna get knocked down to almost no life here. If we draw a white source, we get to Road Watcher bringing back... well, nothing, I guess. Probably bringing back Devotee after he blocks something. Hoping they just swing out for the kill here. Oh, that is awkward. He has trample. So I guess the Hunter is what I Riverwalk technique. Is your last card a counterspell? Or a combat trick? Doesn't look like it. We go to 4. Ooh. That's a good one. Play the Disciple. Play Focus the Mind. Draw a white source. I like that a lot. Hold back. I don't want to get greedy. I just want to stabilize. Alright. They got us to 4 life and then resigned. I guess they're just out of gas. They know they can't push through. They must not have had great late game. I think their deck wasn't very good. Both games they resigned in such a way that made me think they didn't have some kind of big bomb that they were trying to draw into. But they had a very defensive deck, so I feel like that deck just wasn't great. Alright. One down. I would like to get a trophy. Please. Please, card gods. This is keepable because I can cycle the dragon to hit land drops. It's got a castable turn 3 and something to cycle on turn 2 if I'm not drawing the lands I need. I don't love how hard these are going to be to cast. This is nice because I can hold up a counter spell and then end step cycle the dragon if they don't play something counterable. So, and I have the red to play the other half of it if I want to. There's a Sultai Disciple, though. Sultai Devotee. I'm not worried about getting hit by the 1-drop. I can't attack through it with the Devotee. So I'm going to hold this up. Just in case there's something good to counter here. They milled a bunch of graveyard value. Alright, cycle the dragon. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no. Please, please give me a land. Okay. Ugh. I'll take the 1, that's fine. Globe. Gotta play the globe. If they remove the Devotee, we're gonna take a lot of damage. If they don't, it's gonna move its counters to something. But then I can, like, Riverwalk the counters off of whatever. If they play a big creature and then suicide the host. Alright, they draw a card. This is fine with me. Because they'll move the counters and then I can Riverwalk technique. They spread them around, which is smart. That does make my life a lot harder. But you know what? Yathan Roadwatcher. Oh, I can't cast it. White, black, yup. I think I'm going to take some hits here and just get the engines going. It's okay dropping on life if you're putting a bunch of blockers into play, so hopefully they don't play some big trampler or a... Alright. They're fetching dragons. Oh. That's an instant speed. Destroy target creature with flying spell. I think I triple block the... Well, no. I don't. That makes it too big. I gotta chump block the 4/3, try to stay alive. Hopefully the Disciple can just keep spitting out tokens to keep doing that for me. Alright, this is a good card to know about. I don't know how much I'll be able to do about it, but... At some point, if I can cast the Road Watcher, it's going to be really nice for tempo. Everything's awkward. Alright, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pass with everything up. I can actually, if they try to remove one of my flyers, I can counter it into Focus the Mind and make a 1/1 token. And that seems like a pretty good line. Like, if I double block the Wayfarer or something, then they're gonna be compelled to play the trick. And then I can counter it and draw cards and make a token, which is just a lot of tempo. And my main issue is just getting buried in card advantage, or buried in pressure here. So I'm gonna counter this with the Stormbrood. Do they have another trick? Okay. They're still trading 1 for 2 there. And I've restocked my hand. Man, the land situation. I'm not hitting... I haven't found my black or white splashes yet. I guess Riverwalk techniques are going to be good against... Well, this doesn't make one big thing. This makes 2 tokens. Guess I'll discard a green. Don't have another trick, please. I would really like to trade... Okay. He got rid of my 2 good creatures, but... Is he just going to make some 2/2s now? Host of the Hereafter. Alright, so much pressure. So much pressure. At this point, I'm probably going to Riverwalk and use the dragon to tap something. Because I've got to hit my fixing for these at some point. Playing a 4/4 flyer and trading it off doesn't seem great either. If they have a removal spell through the ward, it really messes me up. And I am taking too much damage altogether. Maybe I Riverwalk first, because I haven't seen a dragon, and this is the one that's worse if it gets countered. I'm hanging in there, but this is like a sketchy game. Another green source. Alright, they hit me for 1. Then they're going to play some creatures. Bloodflies. Sculptor. Don't like that. I have just enough mana to... Man, the Envoy is not good to bounce. The Bloodflies is going to attack for multiple damage. This having ward is awkward. Oh dear. I can't believe I'm this deep into my deck. I'm halfway through my deck and I've not drawn a white or black source. These are both double off color. I guess I'm getting punished for stretching the mana thin, but... I think I have to bounce the Envoy. which is really awkward. Because it's going to be great for them to replay it, but like... Because they're going to have a counter and draw a card, but... I can't be taking damage. What am I hoping to do at this point? I just feel very dead. I feel like I need multiple blockers. I need this to... This will be like a 4-5 if I turn this into a 3-3. I think I'm just dead. I'm going to take the hits. I don't know. This is probably unrecoverable at this point. I've gone too many turns without being able to cast anything. Yeah, I'm dead. There's Hoof, and now they know about it. Ugh. Should have just resigned. Yeah, I'm dead. So they're a Sultai deck, but they're playing like an Abzan deck. They're like doing the tokens thing. Pretty hard. They're all in on the tokens. Bounce effects are good against the tokens decks. They're going to have bigger stuff than me a lot of the time. Rebuke is probably pretty... Like, instant speed removal spells are good when they target their own stuff with tokens to just, like, 2-for-1 them. So that's a thing. Maybe I will... I'd like to run the Narset's Rebuke. I feel like it's too much of a tax on the deck to fix the colors that way. Just gonna run this as is. It's just too hard to rearrange. All our opponents are various Lilianas today. Yep, this is good. I'll cycle the Wildling for blue. Probably. You know what? I'll wait. I have no turn 2 play, so... Maybe I draw a blue and don't have to. No, I cycle it for a blue. Next turn, Champion. Turn after that, Riverwalk Technique. And then I've got card draw to refill. Plus whatever else I draw. I'm not, I won't be getting stuck this game, probably. Alright, there's another dragon. Champion's a good one to play. Well, they don't have... I was about to say they have counterspell mana, but this can't cast non-creature spells, so... Maelstrom is a little odd, because I didn't see things last game that would make me think they would want to play this, but... This is pretty all in on dragons, and they seem to be... Well, there's Boulderborn. I guess they're 5-color dragons. We just didn't notice because they didn't draw any of that stuff. I'm going to hold up Riverwalk Technique and start swinging. They're stuck on 2 lands. This is going to be very hard for them to win now. At this point, I'll counter a removal spell if they have one. Although there's no green 2-mana spell that could actually deal with the champion, I don't think. I'm just going to hold up Riverwalk Technique. They're going to get buried in damage here. If they remove the champion, I'll counter it. If they play a blocker for it, yeah. They got stuck on 2 land and didn't get to play. Freebie. Alright, so they're 5-color dragons. I guess they did play the Dragonologist, but I don't think that changes anything I'm going to do here. I need them to just not have too nasty of a draw. Well, they're thinking for a long time. Hopefully they have a really sketchy hand. Or have to mulligan. Mulliganing really sucks in these rampy matchups. Just because you run out of cards in hand before you can cast your big stuff. You really need every card to have enough lands to get up to the big stuff. So, pretty happy if they mulligan. They are thinking a long time over there. Yeah, this is a keeper. This is better than our last couple of awkward hands. Alright. I will play a Bivouac. This doesn't fix for any of these colors, as we learned. I would like to wait on the Wildling, because if I draw one of these 2 colors, I can use it to fetch the other one. I don't even need to cycle the dragon right now, I don't think. Because if the game goes long and slow... Okay. Well, this is a very slow start for both of us. Mana value 3 or less, so cycling this away doesn't... I was thinking it was power 3 or less for a second. Well... Yeah, okay. I need to be doing things. I'm gonna tap this main phase just to draw into something to do. Wow. Alright, at this point... This is wild. At this point, I'm cycling this to fetch up a... white. And... we're going to take some hits here. But I get to play a Wildling, which gains 3 life, into an Earthcarver, which blocks a lot. Ooh. It's not a card I was expecting to see. Alright, I'm going to play a Wildling, gain 3 life. They don't have Counterspell mana up. And then I'll get to play an Earthcarver, which is really nice for blocking. Okay. T-Vol? No! This is... Is this unbeatable? This is close to unbeatable for our deck. I think we're gonna lose now. They have 1 good card in their deck. 1. I can make a 7-power reach blocker. Maybe that's good enough, but I'm not counting on it. This is really a desperation play. Maybe they just flood out and run out of stuff to do. I hate it. They would be insane to make this attack if they didn't have a trick. What trick could they have? I think just the fact of this attack means I lose the game. Because whatever they have, I'm not going to be able to deal with it. If they have the +3/+3 trick or a -3/-3 trick, then it's better to block the host. And if they don't have a trick at all, this attack would be completely insane. Problem is the host puts the counters on 2. I'm just dead. I guess blocking the host. Yeah, this is the +3 trick. If I'd blocked the host, I would have traded with it, and then I could have Riverwalk techniqued because I top decked that. I'm also getting mega punished for running these double off color cards. I keep not drawing the right lands for them. Alright. Just gonna have to Riverwalk technique. I guess if I had blocked the host, I would be in a much better spot right now. I should have gone with my gut and blocked the host, because then they would have moved its counters onto T-Vol, and then they would be losing them now. And they would not have a 4/4 in play. I have nothing to fetch with this. I'm dead. Oh. It mills on cast. Alright. Well, I'm not dead yet, but... Do I have another Riverwalk technique in my deck? I'm just trying to think if I have anything that could deal with T-Vol, and I kind of don't. Especially after he puts the counters on him. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Ugh. I drew the other globe. Alright. And I'm dead. Wow. Frustrating. I basically lost to one card. I just couldn't beat T-Vol. I also misplayed because I should have done exactly what I was saying and played around the combat trick. So I got kind of punished there. I would have gotten to go a couple more turns to try to answer him. No trophy today. I don't know why I didn't do the right block after talking through the reasons. Timer pressure got to me. Alright. Nice colors. Basically fixed for anything in my deck. we're finally against Mardu here. Gonna take some damage. This guy is rough. We'll see what kind of follow-up they have. We're just gonna get overrun by a good Mardu deck. Looks like it. Ugh. Getting ready for some trade-offs unless they have removal. Teaming Dragonstorm's going to be great in this matchup. I have to trade off. Can't be taking damage against the Sharpshooter and tokens. Alright. That's so bad for me. Don't think I can beat that. Wow, they make it indestructible? I'm taking so much damage. This is just a very good Mardu curve. They even have Death Touch, so I can't even block them. I go down to 5, I'm just dead. Right. That was probably the best draw. Gain 3 life, get back the enchantment. Probably still dead though, the math here just doesn't math. Even with the Earthcarver, man, their curve was just so good that even with my draw being about as good as it could be against it, I still lost. Ugh, their draw was completely disgusting. Wow, and channel... Okay. Their draw was perfect. Alright, what do we do against this? Thing is, Channel Dragonfire is not even good against them. It's so frustrating that every card in the aggro deck in this set has 3 or more toughness. Literal Devoted Duelist is the only thing it can target, and it's still going to get a hit or 2 in because of haste. And this being sorcery. But... Elder? For some trickery, maybe? I think the red splash is still just awkward. I don't really have the fixing to make it work well. Stag's a good blocker. Mastery over something. Maybe I drop the Storm Brood because the Dragon Half is so hard to cast. Yeah, okay. Just lowering the curve as much as I can. This is going to be very tough to beat. If he draws like that, I'm not winning any games. Play first. Alright. This is reasonable. It's actually pretty good. I have a 2-mana play that trades off with a lot of his stuff. Into a globe. Into a life-gaining dragon that'll come in as a 4/4. Got a Riverwalk technique, just as removal for whatever. Like, this is as good a hand as I'm going to be able to get. And I'm on the play, so hopefully I can stabilize and do stuff. Ramping into the Wildling is going to be really nice. I mean, it doesn't really... Yeah, it does. Yeah, I get to globe into turn 4 Wildling as a 4/4 that gains life. And they didn't have a 2-play. Ugh. Alright, that's annoying. At least we got it out of their hand, I guess. There's a black source, which means I can play all of my Abzan cards. If I draw them. That adds some good draws to the deck. Ugh. The Pack Beast is rough. Gonna play out this, even though I'm getting hit for a bunch. I guess this does block it. They're gonna be compelled to use whatever removal they have here. Probably gonna get it breathed or something. They've got 6 cards in hand. Their deck seems stacked. I had basically a perfect draw on the play, and I'm still getting buried. If they remove this Wildling. If they don't have an answer to the Wildling and just pass without attacking, then I'm very happy. Oh, Lord. They're probably going to swing with Nirev. I would really like to draw that Abzan guy that brings back a 3 or less mana cost dude from your graveyard, because are they thinking about whether to breath my Wildling? The hoof is just going to be so awkward here. It's got no creatures to buff. They're going to bite the Wildling to death. Yikes. And I'm dead. They play Nirev, hit me for... Disgusting Mardu deck. I was complaining about how good this deck was last game, and I didn't see Nirev or Inevitable Defeat. It's an absolutely perfect Mardu deck. Just got totally thrashed by this. Alright. I also flooded, but I was losing hard no matter what. Ugh, that was painful. Alright. Not the best draft. But thanks for tuning in. I will be doing more of these this week. And I will catch you.